So I've been out of competition drifting for 12 years. I'm attempting to make a comeback. I'd really love to win another championship, but already it's not gone quite to plan. I'm having handling issues with the car. I'm a little bit lost with setup. We've done round 1 and 2 and I've had a fairly decent crash. So here's the summary of what's happened so far. So it's been over a year since my last video. The last one I put up was Drift League round 1 last year. That really fueled the fire for a proper comeback to drifting again. The compact was underpowered. I struggled to get it around the track, ended up with 100 psi in the back tyres, wouldn't spin up third gear. Sort of abandoned that season in that car. I'd planned on doing the full championship. Rushed the E36 together, which I've been building now for 2 years. It's behind me. Went to round 3, had all sorts of problems, which later on I discovered I'd wired the crank trigger in back to front. Anyway, abandoned that and decided to finish the car properly. All the other cars I had were sold. I made the decision to take it a little bit more seriously, concentrate and get the E36 finished properly. Move on to this year. So far, round 1 and round 2 haven't been the best for me. I'm really struggling with setup on this car, which I'll go into a little bit more in a little while. Very happy to be back. It's been a long time coming. I've been 12 years since my last proper championship campaign. I hoped I'd sort of come back with a bit of a bang. I did, I crashed. Not the bang that was intended. Yeah, but I am back. The car, I'll go into a little bit more detail in another video, but 1JZ, 500 horsepower. It's got everything. As far as the chassis side of things is concerned, it wants for absolutely nothing. So after getting the car finished, went to round 1, no testing. You plan these things as well as you like, it always goes wrong. Had a load of problems with mapping, boost creep and trigger issues, all sorts. So that pushed on, had to buy a load of new components, put 6-boost manifold on it, Turbo Smart wastegate, different coil pack setup, changed all the wiring, went back, got a successful mapping session done, but it made us much later for the beginning of the season than planned, so straight around 1 with no testing. Got to round 1, instantly discovered the diff ratio was far too short. Absolute limiter bashing everywhere. Also discovered that the rear of the car has these had these absolute monstrous springs in the back. I couldn't even begin to imagine what spring rate they are. We bought a second-hand coilover kit. It was unused about 8 years ago when the car was built. Never really paid much attention to the springs, if I'm honest. Looking at them now, it's fairly obvious that they're an extreme spring rate and it was not a great idea to put them in, but that's the way these things go. The car just didn't handle at all, completely rigid, struggled to get it around the track. The plan for round 1 was to arrive and leave with a working car. We did that, so I was quite satisfied with the result. Frustrated the car wouldn't handle. Diff ratio, just something that was untested, so yeah, a bit of an odd one. It's a very similar diff ratio to the one I had in the MX-5, and that worked, so I thought it would be okay. But in retrospect, looking back, most of the tracks I was doing in the MX-5 were higher speed, so I was in 4th a lot of the time, sort of most of the time in fact. At Three Sisters, 4th would have been too much, even the short diff ratio, so that just didn't work. So I came back from round 1, before round 2, changed the diff ratio. Clearly too much limiter bashing, needed to be longer, so we changed from a 3.6 to a 3.2. Went to round 2, still more limiter bashing. changed the Monster springs from whatever spring rate they are to a BC 10 kg. 10 kg made perfect sense to me because it's a divorced setup. As they're more inboard, there's essentially more leverage on the spring, so it reduces the spring rate. So 10 kg from memory is equivalent to a 6.2 kg. That's what I'd run a 6 kg on an S chassis, so it just made sense to me. At round 3, discovered the rear end of the car was still way too hard. Very, very nervous. Every time I pull a handbrake, something different would happen. One run it would sort of drag smoothly into clip 1. The second run it would just literally wind on a full lock and do a random backwards entry. So yep, the rear of the car is still extremely nervous. I'm toying with the idea of having an experiment with an anti-roll bar. These cars handle completely differently. I say handle, respond to setup completely differently to anything I've had before. I've always had really Japanese cars, so the general way they work is to toe in and camber under compression on the rear. BMW's toe out under compression, so it is literally the opposite as far as setup goes, and I am really struggling with that. I'm struggling to gel with the car because it feels nervous. Everybody says E36s are the go-to, or BMWs generally, because they make more grip. I can definitely confirm that. But trying to find the balance, it's a weird situation. With, say, an S chassis, if you've got a nervous back end, it's because you haven't got enough grip. You haven't got enough side bite, you haven't got enough grip. So you just dial more grip in, and that sorts the situation out. With this thing, I've got grip, I've got side bite, and the rear end is nervous, which just doesn't compute to me. I'm not used to the setup style this thing requires to gain the stability out of the car. Maybe I'm missing a rear anti-roll bar. That might be the missing component, or it might just simply be these springs are too hard. I've also had various discussions about the tyres I'm using with people, and others confirm that they found them to be inconsistent, so it could be the tyre I'm on. After the full day of testing, I managed to find a setup that would get around the track. Looking at the car at certain times, I think you would wonder what the problem was from the outside, but it's just purely inconsistency. Like I said, I had grip, I had side bite, the car's got plenty of angle. It looks like it should just work, but it doesn't for some reason. Anyway, qualifying run 1, after a full practice day and a full 2-hour practice session, my accelerator pedal decided to break. The clip at the bottom where the throttle pedal attaches to the floor, it became unattached, and the throttle kept jamming where the bottom of the pedal was getting hooked on the front of a piece of Ali checker plate flooring I've got. So first run wasn't the best.
This is Dory Hero, Matt Campling in his green E36. It is running a JZ Power. He's had some issues at round 1, and then towards round 2 he decided to do a little bit of setup adjustments. He did it practice day yesterday, didn't go too well, made more adjustments, and today he's found his place. He is happy. Had a chat with him and he seems to be fairly comfortable. Let's see what he can do on his first run. Nerves are racking. He's sitting on the start line waiting for the thumbs up, and it's coming. Leaving the line. Up the hill towards the wall. Oh, very fast initiation. Whoa. Big entry by Matt Campling. Wow! Puts a bit too much angle, almost held it off. Had to make a big adjustment in a clip 3. Puts his foot down through clip 4. Fulfills zone 5 on big angle. Oh, that snappy transition. That just did not work out. But come on, make some noise for Matt Campling. What a great guy.
That is very unfortunate. That car wants to throw angle everywhere. But big thanks to Dory Hero for supporting the championship for a long time. They've been making our door banners, our sun strips, all of the hero cards for the drivers, stickers, you name it, they've been doing it. They also make liveries as well. They've been absolutely smashing it over the years. So a big thank you to Dory Hero.
And then the second qualifying run, I sort of got in my own head a little bit after the first run, which is sort of understandable really. And I strung together a sort of semi-sketchy run and managed to qualify. So I was quite happy with that under the circumstances.
As we have Matt Camplin back at the line, waiting for his second one, obviously with a 0 on his first, with a broken accelerator pedal. So we'll have to see what happens going into his second run. Have I got a camera pointed at me right now? I think I do. Here we go as he comes in for his second run. Matt Camplin, Dory Hero sponsor, coming through into our zone 1, looking pretty good so far as he comes around to our clip 2. Misses it though, almost missing in a clip 3 as he comes around now into our clip 4. Nice and deep there as he comes around to our zone 5. This is looking better so far. 80 score on the board is an improvement. Here we go, coming around now in towards our zone 7. This will be a score on the board as he comes around nice and deep there across the line.
After qualification, due to spending so much time setting the car up at the practice day on the Friday and then basically trying to finesse the car onto the correct line around the track, which was difficult with the inconsistencies with the handling, I didn't do a single chase run throughout the whole of the test day and practice session. So that made the first battle interesting. I decided to go all in. There's no point in doing a battle if you get left by the lead car, and it turns out I went a little bit too hard. Initiated a bit too fast and a bit too far up on his door. There was a choice of either hit the lead car or bail, so I bailed and ended up crashing into the bank. So that's a summary of how round 2 went. On the way home, our camper van managed to get us 400 miles to Scotland and around 3 to 4 miles on the way home before a fuel injector stripped the stretch bolt thread and left us stranded on the side of the road, which has led to another sort of frustrating situation really. I was hoping that we could get a test day before the next round, but with the sort of complications, time it's taken and cost involved in both recovering and fixing the camper van, I'm going to be going into round 3 again completely untested. The changes are going to be the springs. I'm not sure whether I should put the 4 kg in or the 6 kg. I think I'll potentially start with the 4. I'm only going to have the 1-2 hour practice session because there's no test day before this round. So I'm not sure whether I should try different tyres or stick to the tyres I've got to keep the inconsistent consistency, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think round 3 is going to be another sort of session of trial and error really. Hopefully before round 4 I can get the new turbocharger on the car to get rid of the lag. That'll definitely make whatever I've got underneath me far easier to drive and far easier to manage if there are any sort of setup or handling issues to drive around. So yeah, that's it really. I'll leave you with a video of my best run of the weekend.